So, yeah, there are some people that just,
What is this?
someone disagrees with my George Floyd tweet.
What was your George Floyd tweet
today? Well, George Floyd, you might know. Let me refresh your memory.
I've not heard. Is he related to Pink Floyd?
Yes, Pink Floyd. The George Floyd, of course, Minneapolis, cop knelt on his neck and he ended up dead. And the country's still burning for it. Well, a new video came out, the chest cams from the police officers. And you see about 8 minutes or 9 minutes of this video of the first contact with Mr. Floyd in his vehicle, them taking Mr. Floyd out of the vehicle, cuffing him, trying to get him into the patrol car. And Mr. Floyd is resisting every step of the way. It's insane. This guy, first of all, they pull a gun on him because he refuses to show his hands. Now, I've seen a lot of tweets where people are going, they didn't have to pull a gun on him. It's 100% appropriate for a police officer to pull out a gun when someone during a traffic stop isn't showing their hands. Show me your hands. Show me your hands. You're fiddling. You're doing things. The cop's going to point his gun at you because more times, not more times than not, but enough times, they've had enough cases where someone pulls up a gun and shoots you. And you don't want to be trying to get your gun out when you see the gun pointing at you. So that's completely appropriate. They go to get him out of the car. He's constantly pulling, resisting. He's obviously on drugs, which the autopsy has proven. He was on fentanyl, methamphetamine, and weed. And he's coming off very paranoid, very rambling, and he won't stop. He won't stop. They try for quite a while to get him into the vehicle. He goes, I can't. I'm claustrophobic. Don't shoot me, officer. Don't shoot me. He goes, I'm not going to shoot you. No one's shooting you. The officer holstered his weapon the second George. Not shoot. The officer holstered his weapon the second he put his hands on his head. That was it. He holstered the fucking weapon. So they try to get him out. Now they're trying to get him in the patrol car. And he goes, I'm claustrophobic. They're going, we'll roll the windows down. Like they're being nice to the guy. They're literally being nice to the guy. They're asking him, what are you on? Because he's obviously on something. There are other people around, the woman that was videoing it and another gentleman that said, stop resisting. They're yelling at him, stop resisting. And the cops are telling him to stop resisting. And he goes, I'm not resisting, while he's resisting.
Okay.
So they go to get him in the car now. So one cop goes around to the other side of the vehicle to pull him in while the other cop pushes him in. And again, very standard. As they're pushing him in, you hear him saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. No one's near his neck. This is well before a knee even got close to his neck. He's already saying, I can't breathe. He's obviously in a very anxious, paranoid state. He's in a bad physical health, which the autopsy said. He has coronary artery disease, and he's on fucking fentanyl and methamphetamine. So he's sweating profusely. He's saying he can't breathe. They get him in. He fucking crawls back out of the way the guy was pulling him. And he goes, he actually says...
Squad car? Or
of the squad car.
Okay.
So the cop's trying to pull him in the squad car, but before he could shut the door, he crawled back out. And he goes, I want to lay on the street. He's yelling, I want to lay on the street. So the cops put him and lay him down on the street. But he's still being very fidgety. And then I guess it picks up with what we've seen from the woman's video of the knee on the neck. Now, the other thing about that is the autopsy, no bruises, no contusions to the neck, no blood flow or vein or artery damage, no windpipe damage, not even bruising to his neck. So whether the cop, obviously he had the knee on his neck, but was he applying any pressure? And the guy was yelling, I can't breathe in the fucking car before he got out on the street where he wanted to be, to relax. They were calling EMTs to come and take care of him. So the police were doing their fucking job. If you thought his death was fucking crazy. Wait till not guilty is read off by the jury. Wait till not guilty is read by that fucking jury if these guys even stand to get a fair trial. Because first of all, the other two cops, they aren't fucking going down for shit. They are totally exonerated. The other one, good luck on fucking murder 2, because that fuck died from a heart attack brought on by fentanyl and methamphetamine and a crazy, anxious, agitated state that he put himself in.
Why did he put his knee on his neck?
I think he put his knee over his neck. And it sounds funny. It's like, over his neck, he died. Yeah, he died because he fucking wound himself up into a frenzy that gave him a heart attack. I think it was to keep him there without having to use his hands. Now he's free with his hands, but he's got him.
Oh, his hands were free?
Where he can't really get up. At times, yeah, that officer's hands were free. He was, I think, on his radio.
Oh, the officer. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the officer. So I think it was a way to keep him on the ground from moving, but not like on his neck. It was over his neck, maybe making contact, but not to the point of pressing and cutting anything off that killed him. The autopsy says it was not anything to do with his neck, his wind, or his veins, or arteries that had anything to do with this guy's death. He died from coronary arrest. That's in the autopsy. Holy fuck, good luck with this case. Unless it's a kangaroo court and these guys are put away to save fucking cities from burning, this is an easy case. Oof.
Is it a kangaroo court because they're trying him in Australia?
They are indeed. They were trying to get a koala bear court, but they were full up. Now that I've explained myself,
what was your tweet though?
That was pretty much my tweet in 200 and some odd characters.
Okay.
There it is. Not only were they overcharged, they shouldn't have been charged in the first place. George Floyd caused every problem that led to his death, including his poor health and drug use. Sorry. Like, that's not the popular fucking thing to say. I realize that. And we've had burning cities and protesters. But...
Oh, no. Yeah, you could say it's not the popular thing.
You could disavow, Dave. I get it.
No, it's
fine.
This
is my opinion.
This is your show, and I respect you.
It's my opinion of everything I've seen so far. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer. It is not a court of law. We have not seen all the evidence. But while I'm seeing what we have, and remember, my record of deciding cases. One of my biggest cases was Casey Anthony. You may remember the Casey Anthony case. I was completely right on that one every step of the way.
Yeah.
From the beginning to the end. I said she's got great tits and I want to fuck her, so let her out.
But I don't know how long her knee was on her baby's neck
on her baby's neck.
Pool.
That is true.
I'm going to guess it was 3 minutes.
The little baby's skull with fucking duct tape around its mouth. Oh, God. What a nightmarish thing that's all about. So let's go to this dude who says my tweet, because it was a few tweets. It was about...
But I think it's fair to say that there is a reasonable doubt, and people have to be honest about that.
And there lies the whole fucking thing, too. Reasonable doubt.
Yeah, it's not innocent. It's just proving there's reasonable doubt.
You have to prove, the prosecution has to prove that this officer killed this guy under the criteria of murder 2. Murder 2 is murder 1 without, a week of going, yeah, I think I'm going to kill that motherfucker.
It's murder.
It's like,
yeah.
You walk in and your wife is fucking someone and you bludgeon both of them. That's murder 2.
Oh, I usually just hold his hand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you like that, don't you, baby?
He wasn't able to articulate, I'm having difficulty breathing. He was just saying, I can't breathe because that's what's coming out of his mouth.
And now that's taken as, I can't breathe because of this officer's actions, when the fact is he was saying, I can't breathe because he was having anxiety, he was on methamphetamine and fentanyl, he was out of shape, he had coronary artery disease. Like, that's why. But everyone's embraced this as...
Pretty jacked. He looked pretty jacked to me in those.
He was a little doughy around the middle, my friend.
Oh, all right.
No, he had coronary artery disease. It's in the autopsy report.
Okay. But my point being is that if somebody's saying I can't breathe, you got to go through the motions. I mean, you know, I've been there thousands of times. I'll roll my eyes as well. It's incarceritis. Half the time you talk them out of going into the ambulance, going like, you know you're coming with me after you.
All right. Now let's play this out a little, Brian. Okay, let's say I agree, and these cops, instead of sitting him up and putting him on oxygen, they laid him on the ground where he said he wanted to be. He goes, "Put me on the ground. Put me on the ground. I want to be on the ground." They put him on the ground. They restrained him in place, not aggressively. From what I saw, I can't, and the autopsy report, I don't see this guy kneeling on his neck to the point of killing him. Anyway, and they called emergency services for the guy. Now, if they should have done more, where they should have sat him up and given him oxygen, them not doing that, does that in your eyes merit murder in the second degree?
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Absolutely not. And this is going to be the problem. First of all, these cops are going to be morons if they decide upon a jury trial.
You think a judge, really? One guy? I think they could get a hung jury.
Oh, absolutely. Don't go
pretty
with
easy.
A jury in that city right now?
Yeah, well, in that city.
There ain't nobody in which is going to...
The prosecution's going to set up the jury to look like the cast of Good Times.
What'd you say?
The jury's going to look like the cast of Good Times if the prosecution has their way.
But that's what I mean. I would go in front of a judge. I would have a bench trial. Absolutely, unequivocally.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be the rule of law. And then I even think they're still going to be found guilty and they're going to have to appeal it.
But here's the problem
Won't
that I
judge
see.
want to not be involved?
Exactly. Here's the problem I see, and it's exactly what Dave is saying. The judge will be the guy that everyone knows. I assume that you would probably get maybe an anonymous jury in some way. Maybe they'll have to do something like that, and
Should have them wear something like white hoods with eyes.
White hood.
So nobody knows.
so
who
no
they
one
are.
can see them. What a great idea, Dave.
Make it simple.
So you have something like an anonymous jury. You could probably get a hung jury on reasonable doubt time and time again of this whole thing until they just throw the thing out. But it's costly. A lot of time is wasted. But the judge himself is a guy, you know his name, you know where he lives, you know his family, and he's got to be the guy that goes, "Hey, guys, I got to tell you, I just don't see it. You're free to go." That guy's life is fucking over. And if you're that dedicated to the law to sacrifice your fucking life, more power to you, but
the
shit his
defendants
pants.
have a choice between a bench trial.
oh,
and
I
jury.
know.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's just every time he sees a FedEx worker, he's gonna shit himself.
He might say,
Boarding
yeah,
at the
no
door like it's
shit.
Night of the Living Dead.
He might just say, not guilty to keep his own ass out of trouble.
Which sucks because that goes against the entire judicial.
The whole thing is fucked if you do that. The whole system's fucked.
It basically has to do with media.
Yeah,
I mean, even take a look at the
absolutely.
OJ trial.
They're all complicit in this. The fucking media has wound this up into a frenzy. If we'd have seen this video, if this video was released a day or two after the incident, we might have gotten a little more perspective on this George Floyd guy and the things the cops are doing and saying. Also, let me ask you this. Did you see one instance that showed any bit of racism in that video?
No, absolutely not.
None. There wasn't even nothing.
Absolutely
The
not.
cops
Because
were
those cops,
cordial.
I believe those cops were called to the scene as well, right?
They were called for a counterfeit 20 that was passed in a store, and George Floyd got out, left the store, went into his vehicle, and that's when the police rolled up.
Right.
And yeah, there was so they weren't profiling him. And there was nothing said on that video or no action that would lead me to believe any of those officers were racist against George Floyd. And it turned into this racist cop killing someone. It's a fucking lie.
But when they did make him
Absolutely.
squeal
I'm
like
in
a
complete
pig, I
agreement.
felt it was inappropriate.
That was inappropriate. Of course you're going to look at what could have been done. What could have been done in this case doesn't even merit fucking manslaughter. This isn't even negligent homicide. This is fucking maybe a procedural issue within the department itself, but I don't know. They're going to have a very hard time. The prosecution has to prove this shit beyond a reasonable doubt. They are going to have a very tough time doing that.
And I just think it's interesting. He's expressing, putting out the safety of the man. It's an interesting perspective that I've only heard from police officers, ironically enough, is...
Oh, I wouldn't give a flying fuck.
I know you would. You'd have just shot him before he showed his ID.
Oh God, would I make the worst
You
cop?
would only be happy as a policeman in Haiti, Anthony. That would be, or some authoritarian nation. It wouldn't work out for you in a democratic society.
Well,
yeah, Mexican police would be afraid of you.
yeah. Hey, Brian.
I'm just saying, I call it the way I sees it.
No, I get you, Brian. Thanks for calling because I saw your tweets. You were, you were very good talking about this. A nice. See, we could disagree with things, and even on Twitter, have a nice, friendly exchange and debate and difference of opinion. It doesn't have to turn into, asshole, fuck you, and shit like that. So very nice.
But before you let me go, I personally wanted to thank you really quick. When I was a cop, my brother-in-law, who I worked with, he was a lieutenant of police in my own department. He committed suicide.
Oh shit, that sucks.
And but it was just at that time period, you guys were that bright star during the day, and I was able to
Thank you, man.
laugh.
Boy, Brian's harder to get off the phone than Robert Hayes. No, Brian, I'm kidding, dude. I'm kidding.
Oh my God!
I'll see you on Twitter. I'll give you a follow. You're a good guy.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, my friend. Take it easy, man.
Funny if you just hear a gunshot.
Oh my God. That would be terrible. Oh no. Whoa, what was that? 2, 3? What is he doing?
It's not at him.
It's 1. Oh, jeez.
He must be at a black church.
That is good to hear, though. I'm glad we could.
No, that's so cool. It's nice when people can share that. I just have to wait for you to take all the emotion out of it.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, which I don't blame you.
That's what I do. That's how I roll.
But
that's what Jimmy.
It's
Jimmy
cool.
would always say that, and Opie. It'd be like, somebody would be saying something, and I'd throw something in there, and they'd go, "You are just a piece of shit."
Well, I've been on this show with Jimmy when you've done it, and Jimmy's called you a piece of shit.